Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, children of all ages, it is the return to the return of the Old Humble Guy and the Old Humble Happy Hour. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, we've got everything new. We've got a new thumbnail. We've got a new name, technically, for the podcast. It was the Old Humble Quarantine Happy Hour, but we all know the quarantine is over because COVID has been solved. Thank you. All praise his name, Governor Abbott and Ron DeSantis, who has saved us from the scourge of the vile disease. Everything is better. We're all healthy and sane, and we can go back and start licking all the goddamn doorknobs we want to. Cheers and salutations, everybody. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's absolutely fine. Woo! I need to find one quick thing over here that I thought that I had. Is that it? Nope. It's over there. Hold on 1 second. Top-notch production quality right there, isn't it, boys and girls? Top-notch production quality. I am a professional podcaster. That's a lie. I'm not a professional anything except a professional whiskey maker and a professional dumbass. But we'll talk about that later, too. So what's going to come up with the show? My co-host, Lisa, is sitting right there in the green room. Hi, Lisa. She can't see me. Maybe she can see me. Yep, she can see me. She waved. So we've got some cool things I'm going to trot out tonight and try, such as, well, there's nobody here. That's fine. We're gonna trot out a couple of quick things like this. The subscribe. I can do that in chat. And when I say to subscribe, then what happens is my Nightbot will at some point respond. Is it subscribe is the command? I can't remember the command. Nightbot's fucking lazy. Stupid. There it is. See, I have a new feature to add the. See, I'm trying to become a more professional podcaster. My goal, obviously, is to make whiskey, but new things and cool things that'll be happening for the podcast itself, for the show itself. I'll be able to stream it live out of the distillery starting tomorrow. So our first real episode, tonight's technically episode 1, but it's kind of working the kinks out so I can test some stuff, is going to be in a couple of weeks. We'll have a band, probably a live band. I'm not entirely certain. My mom is sending texts to me. I'm going to respond because she wants to know why pirates can't finish the alphabet. We all know it's because they get stuck on R, but I'm going to say it's because they're illiterate, and cannot read or write. All right. Let's get Lisa up here. She's going to help me talk. Lisa, Lenny, the one and only. Check it out. We got background and everything. Isn't that gorgeous? Can you hear me? Can you speak? Are you there?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You actually spoke. That's good. So check it out. I've got a new wardrobe. I got a new hat.
You got it.
I'm wearing a fucking tie like a grown-up. I'm gonna practice all this stuff for when I'm at the actual shop and we do the thing in the office at the actual distillery. I'm gonna look like I think I'm gonna do this. I don't know if I want to do the flannel and the hat like I did last time, because we're gonna have a different lighting setup in the shop when we have the actual podcast going at the shop. It's gonna be a little bit different.
Sorry, I have cheese and crackers, and I had to fight off a feline.
I have a door that pretty much solves my problem.
I don't have that downstairs in my dining room.
I also don't have 19 cats, so
9. It's just 9.
Sure it is. It sure it is. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, my lovely, talented, my intelligent, amazing, awesome, super talented co-host, Lisa Lenny, the cat lady.
Indeed.
Can I change your name to the cat lady? Can I do that?
I don't know. I can do that.
I can. I know you can, but I wonder if I can. I should be able to, but I don't think I can. No, I can't. Damn it. Oh, wait. So I've got music queued up for the relaunch of the podcast. I've got new backgrounds. Woman. I've got new thumbnails, new backgrounds, new. I'm working on intro and introductory and exitory.
Outro.
I don't want to call it outro. That sounds.
That's
dumb
what it is. It's an intro and an outro.
Yeah, but it sounds dumb and lame, like mentor and mentee. It just sounds like they're just not trying. Introductory and extraductory. That sounds even dumber. But we're gonna do. I've got music. I've got video intros and outros. If we must use that dumb language, I'll use it. For the show, I've got new wardrobe, as you can see.
I like the new wardrobe. I think that is very dapper.
I mean, I like having the new wardrobe, but I don't know if I'm going to keep this as the new wardrobe. I'm definitely going to do something else. I don't know if it's going to be this. I mean, it could be. I mean, today I'm in my house still. I haven't officially transitioned over to the new studio in the distillery. So today I am still not wearing shoes because tradition has it. Tradition must hold. When I do a podcast in the house, I do not wear shoes.
I wear pajama pants.
All right. Well, that's fair. That's worth doing. Pajama pants. Also, I'm wearing shorts as a proper podcaster should. So there's that. We're working on. We don't have the facility set up for music for bands to play live because we don't have the facility set up to have a live audience yet. But we can start moving in that direction as we continue to grow the production. I'm going to have green screen. Man, I've got.
In other words, we need electricity, air conditioning, and a bathroom.
Air conditioning and a bathroom. We have electricity.
Yeah, but we need to like.
Well, yeah, the rest of the electrical needs to be wired through the utility wall and all that stuff. That's coming in the next couple of months. In fact, my contractor sent me a text right before we started the show to talk about doing it later this week. But we have a couple of projects that have to be done before that. Specifically, our new release that we're going to have this fall. That is the sneak preview that everybody gets. Y'all get the sneak preview. That's it. More on that at another day. So we're going to have that project. We've got the steam generator going in. We've got our blackout bourbon. We've got our Boomtown bourbon. We've got.
Wait, back up. What's blackout bourbon? You didn't tell me about this.
Oh, I didn't tell you about the 72-hour blackout bourbon? Well, this thing happened back in February where the entire state of Texas lost power for 72 hours because our governor, the benevolent and glorious dictator himself, the fucking moron. Needless to say, we all lost power for 72 hours.
Some of us longer than that.
Yes, some of us longer for that. Some of us longer than 72. But we here lost power for 72 hours. And when the power... We had it intermittently for the next day after that, but then we finally had power back on the 5th day.
And when you had power back, I got to come and take a hot shower.
Yes, you did. You got to come over and take a hot shower. I went down to the distillery to check out the distillery. Hello, Moose Gal.
Hey, Moose Gal.
And check out this. Are you watching chat?
Yeah.
Watch that. Here it comes. So I go down to the shop to check everything out.
So,
we never lost power at the distillery, and water was draining off the roof and into our water catchers, and I heard the water pouring out of the water and into the drain basin. So I collected up water from the rain pack, and we have runoff from the snowpocalypse that we will use to make 72-hour blackout bourbon, a special edition to be released in March or April of next year.
Okay. We have talked about the concept. You just didn't tell me the name. I like the name.
It's going to be dope as hell. 72-hour blackout. It's a nice little double entendre.
Yeah, yeah.
72-hour blackout. Who wouldn't want a 72-hour blackout, right? We're not yelling yet. Oh, Moose Cow, this one's going to be great. We have a great story for the second half of the show. An absolutely fantastic story. Stick around. I want to finish with the updates and shit like that. So nobody put it in a toast. I'll put it in a toast. Toast. Let's see what happens. Oh, there's the toast. Somebody, Moose Cow put in the toast right before me. Thanks, Moose Cow. To absent friends and to ourselves, as no one is likely concerned themselves with our welfare. That's interesting. Cheers. So when I do toast, it's supposed to cycle through like a list of toasts that are written on another file. That's kind of cool. I'm going to expand the Nightbot functionality out as well, and check out what else I can do with Nightbot. I can pick a random winner out of chat. The winner tonight gets nothing, but one of these. I'm the winner, and I am apparently not a subscriber to my own channel. I don't think I'm allowed to be a subscriber to my own channel. Anyway, what was I talking about? Okay, the
girl's playing with the Nightbot.
Yeah, there's all kinds of fun. May the road rise to meet your feet, and may the wind always be at your back. Cheers. But the 72-hour blackout bourbon, and then the Boomtown bourbon will be hopefully re-released on Memorial Day, and over the course of summer, we'll get enough of that produced that we can then get it into stores by wintertime next year. And then the next release in the winter of next year is going to be something that we've been working on for quite some time, and I'll tell you about that later. Y'all don't get to find out about that till next year. But I can say that it's related to this. Oy. So there you go. And also, I am open to ideas as far as wardrobe goes.
Okay.
I may stick with this. Might change the tie color. This is purple, but it kind of shows up as black. Maybe I could do like a. Oh, you know what?
You're contemplating your costume change right now, aren't you?
I know. I might change it now. Yeah, we'll deal with it later. Video. I've got commercial breaks that I can do. I'm gonna get one of those game. Yeah, Nightbot repeat. I've only got like 5 listed, Moose Cow, so calm down. It can only be 400 characters is what the recall can be. I'm working on it. I'm brand new at this. Calm down. But I'm going to get one of those controller pads so I can do stuff without having to go to the keyboard constantly, and I can do transitions between screens and scenes and put in video and do things like that. So I'm working on all kinds of cool little new angles to upgrade our production going into the full-on show as we start back up at the shop. It's going to be very exciting. She's going to go yell at one of her hostages again.
Okay. So remember earlier when you said this show was going to start at 8:30?
Uh-huh.
And I told you I was going to take a nap?
Which you must have.
I did. So I set my alarm to make sure I did not oversleep.
Yeah.
For 8:45.
And then you overslept.
No, I didn't oversleep.
Oh, you set it for 8:45. That wasn't smart.
But no, had I slept until the alarm, I would have been late because I was thinking this was at 9.
Yeah, no, it was 8. But check out. I'm gonna take our avatars off. I think I can do that, and check out our. No, I don't have to do that. Watch this. I can do this. I know how to do this. I'm a professional. See, this is our new thumbnail. It is a nice, comfy couch. Modifications are going to come. The actual episode title screens are going to have the episode number and the actual guests who are on the show and all that other stuff. It's going to be a much more professional. Well, bullshit with that. It's not going to be a professional. It's going to be a much cleaner production as we go forward with more functionality. I
was going to say, I think you're still going to curse.
Yeah, still amateurish and dumb and general nonsense, silly garbage that we're going to do. Unhinged Chronicles will be returning. No doubt. We will likely have performers joining the show from live from the distillery, including bands and comics and burlesque performers and jugglers and
Sideshow.
I don't know, animal tamers and sideshow and magicians and musicians that make magicians disappear. Maybe musical magicians, like magicians who play music. Maybe we'll do both. But always, 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 the key is going to be promoting the brand and expanding, spreading the good word, the good spirit, sharing the spirit with my brothers and sisters across the land so you can get the spirit in you and have an indwelling of the spirit deep in your soul.
Musco asked if Jeff with a G would be a performer.
100% certainty. He lives in New York now.
What?
But what?
I didn't know that he moved.
Well, he moves a lot. He's a sentient living human being. I mean, most people who are living in sentient move just as a function of their bodily operations. But yes, he now resides in New York. So there. I mean, that's a fact of life now. So there you go. So yeah, so that's that. So what's up? Anything new?
Yeah.
Okay, so then nothing new. Good. Okay, yeah, fine. We'll talk about the new stuff later. We are
talk about the new stuff now.
All right. So you got time on your hands?
I do. I am unemployed. And
aren't we all?
I think you're underemployed right now, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I had 2 interviews today, and
Yay.
they both went smashingly.
So that's why you weren't at the distillery helping me label vodka. That's fine.
Well, you didn't tell me you were labeling vodka, first of all, and even if you had, yes, that is the reason.
Yeah, that's fine. There's a reason I didn't contact you.
Anyway,
I figured you were interviewing.
Yes.
Grown up. You're like a grown up.
I wore the lawyer costume today.
Oh, that's cool.
So
was it like, so the lawyer costume is that the pantsuit, or is that the short black dress with the white shirt and the black suit coat?
So it depends. Today it was the navy blue pantsuit with this top.
Gotcha. Okay, so navy blue pantsuit. Gotcha.
Yep.
Because there's like basically two generic female office wear attires. It's the pantsuit or the short skirt with the dark vest. That's like the two.
Jacket, not a vest.
Yeah, that's it. Whatever. I don't pay that close of attention to other people.
You know what? I'm just trying to give you a sartorial education.
But I mean, for guys, it's basically slacks and a shirt, and we can accessorize by changing the color of our shirt, and occasionally the color of our slacks. Or it's a suit, and you have 3 colors of suits: gray, various shades of gray, navy, and various other shades of blue, or black, as long as it's pinstripes and you don't look like you're going to a funeral. That's pretty much it. We're easy. Yes, Muscow wants to quit her job, and she has correctly pointed out that Hillary Clinton always wore a pantsuit. She did. She always wore a pantsuit.
I switch it up.
Different one. Yeah, a different one every day, I hope.
Yeah. And my jackets are not as long as what hers are. So that does not work well for me.
I was in full-on suit mode without a tie for the first several years of my employ at my previous job.
Oh, that's right.
I was just like, I'm done with suits. I'm going to wear just slacks and a shirt from now on. And I went full-on slacks and shirts when I got tired of wearing suits. But I always thought it was easier to wear a suit because I didn't have to think about it. It was just going to grab the next suit and go. Just grab the next suit and go. It was just much easier that way. Plus, I looked good in a suit when I was younger. Still look good in a suit. I look damn good. There's a reason I have mirrors all over my house, because I look good. It's true. It's a fact. But you work in an industry, the lawyer's industry, the legal industry,
Yes.
which is full of bro culture and dudes and stuff.
Yes.
I mean, you are not the least bit unfamiliar with bro culture and toxic bro culture. I mean, you've basically worked in a frat house from the time you graduated college.
I will say that
to varying degrees.
Well, I will say that law school was not like that, and
yeah,
I think that had a lot to do with Northwestern would interview candidates, and they interviewed almost all candidates. They did not interview me because I don't think they had any alumni interviewers in Houston at the time. But they waived my interview because I had work experience. But I really think that interview process contributes to a more collegial, collaborative environment.
Mm-hmm.
So
grown-ups who can, or growing human beings who can work well with others.
Yes.
And aren't just douchebag line seekers who can merit seekers, I guess is the word for it. Moose Cow would like to know if you wear pantyhose when you wear a dress or a skirt. Mind you, I think I know I mean, we're in Houston. I mean, I can imagine how uncomfortable pantyhose would be. But
depends on the weather.
Yeah.
So, and it also might depend on if I'm going to court, whose court I'm in. I can think of at least one court where I would wear pantyhose, regardless of what time of year it is.
I do not wear pantyhose. Ever. I've never worn not even when I robbed the Quickie Mart did I wear pantyhose.
What did you wear?
Full-on ski mask.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was a full-on ski mask when I robbed the Quickie Mart that one time. And it was on a dare. I mean, I'm not just like, I didn't need the money. I didn't need the Slim Jims. It was just like, dare you to do it. And I mean, it was right there across the street from Melcher Hall. So it was like, all right, cool.
Oh.
Just see if we could do it. We did. It was fun. I mean, I brought him back his Slim Jims. He was cool. Sean was a cool guy. But it may come as no surprise to you that the whiskey industry is in fact full of dude bros and toxic man children, and just a general long-standing culture of dickishness and assholery, I think is a fair way to put it. There was a very public blow up about 5 years ago from a Bullet. I mean, this isn't a secret. Bullet and I guess Dan Bullet, whatever the dude's name is, and his daughter had a very loud, very publicized, very public falling out over the misogyny and homophobia and all of the stuff that was going in. I mean, he basically cut her out of the family and all the whole drama. You can Google it. I don't need to explain it and go through it. But it's no secret. It's not like it's not like when that stuff pops up in the whiskey industry, people are like, oh. I mean, it's an open secret. We in the whiskey industry, and I use the we as a plural for everybody in the industry, we know that it has been a long-standing dude bro culture throughout the industry. And it is, I want to say it's in the process of changing with the new generation of whiskey makers that have come out in the last 10 years. But it is also deeply embedded in the whiskey industry. Not unlike being deeply embedded in the sports industry, where you have dude bro coaches and just general jackassery. So this happened very recently, last week, as a matter of fact. A whiskey reviewer on the Instagrams, a person that I have not personally met, don't know them personally. Let's see if we can bring this up with, let's go with that screen. Did that work? Yes, it did. So this is a little dab of bourbon. She's a Kansas City based whiskey blogger. She reviews whiskeys. That's her Instagram page. You can go find her, follow her. She does great reviews and all that stuff. A few days ago, she pulled this bottle of bourbon, whiskey. It's not bourbon. She pulled this bottle of whiskey off the shelf and said, well, this is quite the start of the week. Happy Monday. This was the beginning of last week. It is. You see that? Coach, who's that? Jason Brown. It is an agave whiskey, real agave whiskey. That is what they're making. So he's a podcaster, a celebrity podcaster guy. He has his podcast. He's a coach. He was on a Last Chance U on Netflix, which is apparently a show. Has a podcast. Sounds like kind of a budget Jim Rome, if you're familiar at all with Jim Rome. And bless Jim Rome's heart, he's still doing the same shtick for 25 years. I listened to a little bit of a show the other day, and I was just like, "Oh man, Jim, you're doing this thing to a whole new generation. I'm proud of you, buddy. You're like 50, and you're still doing the same shtick to college students and the same 20-something market that you've been marketing to all this time. Bless your sweet little heart." But it's been good for him. He built an empire on his little sports. Well, it's not little, on his sports network. He built a huge empire. He made it to cable networks and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. No surprise that it has spawned several imitators and baby Romes all over the country doing their own podcasts and their own sports talk and all this stuff.
Romanitos. I was riffing off of baby Romes.
Baby Romes, yeah. I mean, dude's a legend. He got tackled by Chris Chandler. That's an historic moment because he kept calling the guy. No, it's not Chris Everett. Chris Everett. No, not Chris Everett. Oh God, who did he get tackled by? Some quarterback got pissed off at him and tackled him like on his show because he kept calling him Chrissy Everett or something like that. Anyway, back to the point. So that was the post. That was the post on Monday. This is quite the start of the week. Happy Monday, y'all. This is, I mean, she didn't say anything about it. She just said what it was. Didn't even say what it was. Just posted the picture. And then somewhere down the way here, someone from his podcast jumps in, or somebody from the podcast, because that's the show us more. Where is it at? Down here, there's plenty of people commenting. Nobody really knows much about it. This is a different, it's in the Kansas market. It was different. Somebody from the podcast jumps in and says, where is it at? Y'all should try it before you hate on it. Something to that effect. And then follows up with, you know what? I can probably find the actual, is this it? The actual comment. Oh, it's too small. I can't see it. See if I can find it. Okay, we'll get into that in a second. So comments on the post, y'all should try it before you hate on it. Nobody was hating on it. They were asking questions about it. They weren't certain about it, but it was like from the podcast account. And then followed up a little while after that with, y'all know, or it's not the, I want to quote it directly because it was, you're going to love this. You're going to absolutely love this when I quote it. Let me see if I can find the actual words. When my guy, here it is. Try the whiskey before bashing it. That's not it. Damn it.
Keep looking. Okay, so,
he says something to the effect, you've had worse on your tongue and on your lips. And, he's like, that didn't mean anything. That was, like, seriously, this could have all been cleared up with a simple statement saying, somebody from the podcast went off without discretion, without authorization, and said something. We're sorry. We'll take it back. Peace
We'll
and love and
fire the
happiness
guy.
and all that. No. Homeboy doubles down, keeps doubling down. Claims that it was some intern, fired the intern, but he's going to hire the intern back and give him a raise. This guy's a fucking piece of work. Here it is. Found it. Bam. Why don't y'all try it first and stop hating? You know damn well you've had much worse in your mouth and on your tongue. Ta-da. And he says he's a pillar of the community. A champion of women's rights. He has a daughter.
Oh, is that his credential?
So of course that makes it okay. Lisa, you wouldn't describe me as a saint, would you?
No, I describe your wife as a saint.
You wouldn't describe me as a you wouldn't describe me as somebody who is particularly politically correct, would you?
I would not describe you as politically correct.
Would you ever in a million years think that a statement like that would come out of my mouth? And be honest, it's cool. If you do think it might happen, you can say that. Do you think that I would ever publicly say to somebody in an open forum, to you, to anybody, to any other female, you know you've had worse in your mouth and on your tongue than my whiskey? I mean, really.
Okay. I don't think you would say that, but what about your line about junk?
Oh, put my junk in your mouth?
Yeah.
Put my junk in. Yeah, that was intentionally. Yeah, I did do that. That was an entire like idea behind getting reviewers to review my whiskey. Yeah, intentionally irreverent and somewhat over the line. I'll admit to that. Yeah, absolutely.
How many times did I tell you it was over the line?
You told me frequently. And did I stop doing it eventually?
Oh, you stopped.
I have stopped doing it.
Okay.
I have
Okay.
stopped doing it.
In fairness, it's been a while since we've done a distillery tour.
But now also, did I ever go to a female whiskey reviewer and say, put my junk in your mouth?
No.
Exactly. Because that would be what?
That would be
gross.
I have a whole host.
Yeah, a bunch of things that would be.
Words. Yeah, I mean, it's demeaning, it's degrading, it's harassment.
Exactly. I mean, you wouldn't want to do that, like specifically to an individual person individually. Like, that's gross. I mean, no question about it. I'm not going to dispute that in a million years. Doing it as kind of a joke, tongue-in-cheek joke to get some folks to request a review. I'm not saying it's appropriate. I'm not trying to paint myself as a saint. But what I'm not.
It was the tongue-in-cheek phrase that.
Oh, the tongue-in-cheek. Get your mind up here out of the gutter. I'm trying to be a grown-up here. Vaguely trying to be a grown-up. I even put on a tie.
Good effort, Joe. Good effort.
But I wink and nod, and the tongue-in-cheek. We have our Colonel Angus cocktail, and the whole joke behind the whole Colonel Angus thing. But it is not intended to. It's not intended to belittle or demean. It's intended to be good-humored fun. And if people are offended by it, I immediately stop. I'm not going to do it in a crowd of people who would intentionally be offended. Although I did bring up the idea of doing it at the old Humble, the Humble Good Oil Days festival, and putting a whole bowl of pearls next to it so that the old biddies in town would have pearls to grab if they didn't bring their own.
You clutch pearls.
Yes, clutch their own pearls in case they didn't bring their own. But we all know the old biddies in Humble walk around with pearls to clutch all the time, just in case they see somebody with shorts that are just a little bit too high above their knees, or sleeves that don't quite cover up all the tattoos. Old biddies in Humble, bless their sweet little blue-haired hearts. But we also know that the whiskey industry uses flesh to sell whiskey. They've always done it. I've talked about this, how gross it is and dumb it is and how annoying it is when I'm an old fat guy, can go to a spec store or a liquor store here in town and actually sell whiskey, when the models with bottles just, they're on their phone. They're there to collect crowds, but they don't really manage to do anything. And the frustration that I, as a whiskey maker, run into when I'm actually trying to find people who can sell bottles of whiskey and actually market the brand. When
so let me think back here. When the marketing strategy did involve these models.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember?
I tried to play the game. I did.
You tried, yeah. You tried. What did I tell you about the game?
It was stupid and it didn't work. Yeah. It's and it, but that's the game. You got to play it sometimes, and it's frustrating because they're, that's what brands use to sell that stuff, and it's ineffective. It doesn't just flat out doesn't work. But that's part of the marketing strategy. It's part of the marketing strategy for not just whiskey, but for whole lot of other stuff.
Oh yeah.
I have no idea what that. God, I think back to the Verizon commercials. I think it was where there was it was some chick on a motorcycle in the pink and white like leather suit on the motorcycle.
That was probably T-Mobile.
T-Mobile. That was probably, it's probably right. T-Mobile or Verizon, one of those two. I remember the model chick. I don't know her name, but I don't have that. Make up a new game to play, right, Moose Cow? But I don't think I use their phones. I don't remember. But anyway.
Amen, Moose Cow.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're trying to do. It's not like, I'm nobody. I'm not fucking Diageo or Brown Forman or one of the billion-dollar brands that can set the market or anything. And this coach dude with his dumb little podcast and his dumb little whiskey, I'm not anybody to him. He's not ever going to know who I am. I don't really care. I don't want to use his channel or anything like that. I don't want to share in his heat. But as a footnote, he did lose his distributor in that state. And he thinks it's all this persecution thing, like he was selling so well.
I'm sure.
So the competitors were trying to go out to get him, and like he started the whole thing. Like it was his mouth and his attitude and his dickishness that launched all the ships. It launched all the ships. But he thinks it was like some competitor was trying to come out and get him. I watched the whole saga unfold last week, and it was like you can make this all go away with one tweet, one DM, one message. It all goes away really easy. But he didn't. He doubled down, he tripled down, he quadrupled down. He's still talking about it now. And again, I'm not going to come out and say that I've always done the right thing the first time. Hell, it took me 4 times to make butter the right way.
So and who told you what to use in order to make butter?
I don't know. Some dame, some skirt was like, I don't know. I didn't hear it for the first 3 days, but finally.
Finally.
Like, no, I read the instructions. Okay. Let me let everybody in on the first half of this issue. Okay, so if y'all aren't following my Facebook, it doesn't matter. So we had some spoiled milk in the refrigerator. 2% milk, spoiled 2% milk. Ask an Amish person.
2%? You tried it with 2%?
Anyway, no, it was spoiled milk. It was trash milk. We were going to throw it out, right?
Right.
So
But
I'm like, what can I do with this milk? Like, butter comes from milk. So I pour the butter into the blender, turn on the blender, let it blend for like 30 minutes. Like, nothing's happening. Okay. So clearly it doesn't work with 2% milk. It's too low of milk fat. I knew this going into it. Like, I thought there might be a chance that it might work, but I came in pretty clear-eyed knowing that it wouldn't.
You did not use a blender. You used the whisk attachment on a stand mixer.
Yeah, which works. It works fine.
With heavy cream.
Eventually. But, okay, so I start with the 2% milk because it was spoiled. And we were going to throw it out anyway. So I go ahead and blend it, and it worked. It didn't work. It failed completely and totally, and I knew it would.
Okay, that was not blending. That was whisking.
Whatever. Shut up. God. Blah, blah, blah. Details. Yeah, these are important.
If you ever want me to bring another cheesecake with the old Humble caramel sauce, then you need to respect my authority on baking. All right.
Now, also, it's very important to note that, like, we're familiar with each other, and I'm okay doing this with you. But, like, if you were just a random person that I didn't know, like a whiskey reviewer in Kansas City, I would not be all like, beep, 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 beep. I wouldn't do that shit because that's just dickish. You see, that's dickish, and that's my point. Anyway, so like the 2% was a complete and total failure. The next day I needed to go to the store and get some ground beef. So I go to the store and get some ground beef, and I'm like, hey, maybe they have some milk here. So I go and look in their little dairy closet, and they've got whole milk, and they've got this Mexican cream, but they don't have heavy whipping cream. And I'm like, you know, maybe there's a chance. Maybe. I don't know. I know they say, you know, use heavy cream. This is cream, but there's also whole milk. Grabbed them both, tried them out. To no surprise to anybody.
Especially not me.
Yeah, to no surprise to anybody, the whole milk failed. I got little chunky stuff in the whole milk, but there was not like butter. It didn't happen. It was like 20-something minutes, and it just didn't happen.
That wasn't whole milk. That was, you did get something that had a higher butter fat content than whole milk.
I did use whole milk. I just didn't record that part.
Oh.
Yeah. So the next thing I did, the next iteration was the Mexican cream, which I thought might work because it had cream in the name. It was cream. There was a possibility. It wasn't like heavy whipping cream, but it was cream. At least it was cream. We're in the same family of products at this point. You know, I'm not like throwing bread into the stand mixer. I'm actually using cream, Mexican cream, granted, but not like. And this is where you make the bad joke about, yeah, Mexicans don't work. Not funny. It's not a funny joke. Don't make those jokes. So the Mexican cream didn't work. Clearly didn't work. I didn't know why it wouldn't work. I thought it might because it was a really thick cream. Didn't work. So the next day or the day after. I don't know how much cream is in or how much fat's in Mexican cream. I don't know. I've never had Mexican cream before. I didn't even know it was a thing. I didn't even know they make different cream in Mexico. Like, why is Mexican cream different from American cream? Apparently, American cream is fattier because we're big fat cows. Fine. Okay, I get that. Whatever.
Okay, so that label that was on the bottle of Mexican cream.
That was in Spanish.
It was not.
Maybe I didn't read it. I don't know.
Maybe you didn't read it?
Maybe. Look, following instructions is something that I do eventually.
Like I said, I describe your wife as a saint.
She is a saint. Okay, so then finally, and like I know people do this in middle school and high school. I never did any of this shit in high school. Never did any of this shit in middle school. And I tell my lovely wife, who was the whole time saying, we did this in middle school. It's not that hard to do. I'm like, you grew up in Amish country. You grew up in the country where they have cows and they make milk and you make your own butter. I grew up in Houston. We have stores. We needed butter. We didn't go to the cows. We went to the grocery store. We didn't have Amish people around here. We had to go buy our food like normal people. Yes, Moose Cow. I used Google. look, I'm not saying I did it the right way to begin with. I'm not saying I didn't know this stuff wouldn't work. I thought that maybe it might. There's a difference between I know it won't and maybe it might. And they're not mutually exclusive.
Okay, Muscal, I would just like to clarify something. I don't think that Joe used Google because I posted 2 different recipes for
did not look at
butter on his Facebook photos.
I used Google and YouTube. Thank you very much. Anyway, finally, I go to the store. I have to pick up something for lunch or something on Sunday. And I grab the lunch, I grab some glitter, and I grab some heavy cream. The glitter comes into a story later, not this story. It's another chapter. Just put a pin in that. We'll come back. We'll do a call back in a couple of weeks. Come home with the cream, and lo and behold, after exhausting all other options, the right thing worked. So there you go. Tuna.
No, how many?
Cheers, Tuna.
Hey, Tuna.
He's got Tuna has his own command. Look at that squid.
That's pretty cool.
Nightbot, chop chop. What the hell, Nightbot? Nightbot's a piece of shit. There it is. Squids are unusable snacks. Yes. No, Moose Cow, you don't get to know about the glitter yet. You have to wait. Oh, okay. Walter's here. Cheers, Walter. Anyway, so there you go. I don't know what the whole point of the milk story was.
Okay, so
the point of the butter story was that eventually I do the right thing. Eventually, after exhausting all the other options
and having me tell you what the right thing is multiple times,
eventually I do the right thing. I mean, like I said, I'm not a saint. I'm not a perfect person. I will say dumb things, and I'll apologize when I recognize that I've done something dumb and offensive and stupid. I'll apologize and be like, hey, look. I know, okay, I stepped over the line. I know your eyes are up here. Sorry.
Yeah, they rolled to the back of my head many times.
But what I don't do is say some dumb shit like this. I don't say some dumb shit like this, and triple down on it 4 or 5 times after the fact and act like I didn't do anything wrong. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. You're the head of your own fucking media empire or whatever. You have your podcast, you have your TV show, you make your whiskey, you make your cigars, and you're just going to sit there and be a dick? I mean, yeah, it says dick on your bottle, but you don't have to be a dick. I mean, goddamn. Like all it takes, it's not hard to be a decent person. You just don't say things that are shitty. You can still be a shitty person and not say things that are shitty. I mean, he can still do his dumb act. I don't know. The dude bro culture is a challenge to fight your way through. It really is. Mm-hmm. And we don't. It doesn't have to be that way, you know. And I guess that's the point. It doesn't have to be that way. You can be a decent person and not. Well, I guess you can be kind of a dick and not do dickish things is what I'm trying to say.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Because you know good and damn well. You know me. You've hung out with me long enough. You know I can be kind of a dick.
You can be.
But I don't do dickish things all the time.
No,
I intentionally try to do things that generally make the world a better place.
Yes.
And slightly more drunken. Slightly.
That too. Yeah. But no, I can, I can testify that you have a good heart. You just have a inappropriate sense of humor sometimes.
I can go with that. Very inappropriate sense of humor.
Yeah. So, but part of this,
there are certain lines you don't cross, and there's certain realms that you kind of look around and like, that's just gross. Like, put on some pants. For God's sakes. Here's a shirt, sweetheart. Come on.
No, but this happens. I mean, this incident with the woman who posted this on her Instagram. This was
who is, I might add, I follow her on Instagram. I see her reviews come up. She seems to be a fairly fair type. I don't know her. I've never met her. We've interacted moderately over the last week or so. She seems to be a fair and decent reviewer of whiskeys. So
what happened last week is an egregious, obvious example of, you know, how the dude bro culture can be disgusting. But this happens in a lot more subtle ways.
Yeah.
So
tell us more.
Because
you're a chick. You're a chick, as everybody can see. You see things that we dudes don't see. You see things with eyes that I don't have.
True.
So please explain more how I cannot.
So this comes from the Unhinged Chronicles. Yeah. So I have either in chatting on, you know, dating apps or by text or meeting a guy in person, they're like, well, what do you do for fun? Or, you know, on my profile, there are photos of me in the distillery. Or I'll make a comment on my profile that I make whiskey. So, or I'm the chief bottle labeler for a whiskey distillery. And so oftentimes the conversation will come up with, well, what kind of distillery is it? It's like, well, we make whiskey and bourbon, and we bottle, you know, for a few other companies. I cannot tell you how many times I have heard, you don't make bourbon. Bourbon can only come from Kentucky.
God damn it. I would punch so many fucking people.
Oh. If I weren't so short. Wait. Maybe I have not been using this attribute to my fullest potential. But, you know, and I have to explain that Kentucky bourbon comes from Kentucky. Right. You can make bourbon anywhere in the United States. So anyway, yeah.
Exactly. I have to deal with that in specs.
You do.
And that's not just, I can honestly say, that's not just dudes mansplaining to chicks. That's dudes mansplaining to other dudes.
I mean, yes, you have most certainly run into it, but it's
really fun when dudes want to talk shop with me. It's
yeah, when you know, I find that a lot of it, I think it grates differently on me than it does on you, because
probably so.
I mean, I have been the smartest person in the room, to quote the Hamilton musical, and still had somebody who does not do what I do tell me how to do what I do. So, or, you know, tell me why I'm wrong, or how I don't know what I'm talking about because I wear high heels.
Yeah. Being the recipient of mansplaining sucks.
It does for everyone.
Whether you wear a skirt or jeans. And it's absolutely infuriating. Yeah. And yeah, we get, I mean, I get that. What annoys me a lot in this industry is that brands think and I've made this offhand comment in the past, and I recognize how this offhand comment can be insulting. Brands think they have to dress their ambassadors like whores. Mm-hmm. I can see how that would be insulting, and I have not used that phrase. That like I don't dress my ambassadors like whores. That's like And then, of course, the question is, well, what do whores dress like? Well, like, if you've seen Pretty Woman, you know what I'm talking about. Like that's a certain generation's image of what a prostitute is dressed like. It is Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. But that particular brand image just annoys me because I don't want to do that. I don't want to force people to dress up in some dumb costume. It just annoys me. Kentucky, actually, yes, it does. Tuna's right. Kentucky bourbon does taste like Kentucky Fried Chicken. That is a fact. Absolute 100% fact. Oh, and Moose Gal has a very good question, which I will now address. I'll interrupt my train of thought, which is probably going nowhere and probably going into very bad territory. Is there a difference in Kentucky bourbon and bourbon? Yes. Geographically speaking. Mm-hmm. Because bourbon can be made anywhere in the United States. But as you can probably guess, Kentucky bourbon can only be made in Kentucky. I can't make Kentucky bourbon, but right. Kentucky can't make Texas bourbon. Right. And Texas bourbon is not a legally designated type of bourbon. Kentucky bourbon is a legally designated type of bourbon by the state of Kentucky. So if I tried to make bourbon and call it Kentucky bourbon, I would get a cease and desist letter from the Attorney General of the state of Commonwealth of Kentucky. Probably. If somebody caught me. No. But there's no such thing as Texas bourbon. So you can call whatever the hell you want Texas bourbon. You can make Texas bourbon in Oregon if you wanted to. Because the association in Texas has not made a state law applicable for the geographic place and designation of the brand. That make sense? It should.
I think there's a broader, as far as calling something Texas bourbon, while nobody in this state has designated that as a legally defined product, I think that there are some broader legal ramifications to misrepresenting the origin of a product. But that's lawyer brain.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it is. Like Canadian whiskey is a legally designated term in. Actually, I think it's in NAFTA, or was in NAFTA. Now, whatever the Mexican-Canadian trade agreement is, it's basically NAFTA. But there's no legal definition which defines what Texas whiskey is. Conceivably, it would be geographic in nature, but just like with the wine manufacturer, it's a question of grapes, aging, sourcing of all the parts of it. Does my whiskey cease to be Texas whiskey if I take water from Louisiana? It's mostly water, maybe. I don't know. If we get grains from Iowa and boil them in Texas, does it cease to be? Do the grains have to come from Texas, or can I get grains from there? There's a broad question, and generally it's going to come to the point, probably going to come down to, if you distill it in Texas, it's Texas whiskey,
right?
Or age it in, probably more like age it in Texas, it's Texas whiskey. But there's a broad discussion going on right now in the state of what makes Texas whiskey. I can guarantee you Kentucky bourbon, Kentucky whiskey isn't made from Kentucky grains because they don't have rye in Kentucky. Kentucky doesn't make rye. So, and most bourbons have rye. So, maybe it's 50% of the content of the grains come from Kentucky. I think Kentucky has corn. I don't know.
Maybe I'll do a little legal research and see if I can.
Yeah, I know it's not a legal thing now, but I know that eventually Texas is moving towards a legal definition of Texas whiskey. They're just not there yet. And eventually I'm not going to care because whatever. Let the association do whatever the association is going to do.
So getting back to the the larger subject of the
Oh, the dude bros.
yes,
The dude
of
bros
dude
and
bros.
toxic masculinity. I mean,
I was actually going to lead off. That was not your cue.
oh, sorry. Go ahead. Carry on.
So another place that we see
Well, let me
this.
explain to you how things work now.
Mhm. So another way that we see this type of culture is drinks being labeled as girly drinks, and I am constantly telling people there are no girly drinks, there are no manly drinks, there are just drinks.
Yep.
And drink what you like, and stop trying to classify it as masculine or feminine. It's like, I tell people, I took my cat, Harry, the orange and white
There are
one.
no cat drinks.
There are no
could
cat
not
drinks.
drink whiskey.
You are correct. I took him to the vet, and he was wrapped in a pink blanket. And the vet said something about him being a boy cat, and maybe he needs a blue blanket. And I stared her down. She's like, maybe the color doesn't matter. I'm like, no, there are no girl colors or boy colors. Colors for everybody. So
yeah, exactly. In fact, I think pink used to be the appropriate color for a boy baby.
Yep.
Way back in the day.
Yep.
But I get that question frequently as well. Like, what's the right way to drink this whiskey? And
However you like it.
Like, I can tell you the only right way to drink whiskey, this comes from years of experience, is to pour it in your mouth hole. If you're pouring
and
it
swallow.
Swallow is ideal. If you're pouring it in any other hole, you're doing it wrong. Although when it comes to man drinks and woman drinks, the man drink is stirred with a penis. A woman drink, as you can obviously imagine, well, I mean, you have to use your imagination on where that one gets poured.
It's poured with a spoon or a stir.
Exactly. But man
or
drinks,
a straw, like any civilized, logical person would do.
Well, there was the whole thing with the boy toys and girl toys at Target several years ago.
Yeah.
And I told people, like, dudes, guys, chicks, ladies, men, women, look, if it goes on a penis, it's a man's toy. If it goes on a vagina, it's a girl toy. And if it does either one of those things, it's not a children's toy. So, Jesus, what are you freaking out about in Target? God damn. This isn't complicated. Man, I mean, there's the butt toys, which are asexual. They can go with either or. But I don't think they sell those in Target either. I mean, this isn't complicated. This isn't hard, like, to comprehend. This is simple. Children's toys do not generally involve genitalia. And so there's not like a sexual designation for either or. I swear to God, some people.
So
they help me lose my mind.
Yes.
And it's challenging.
Yes. So Tuna has a really good question, and I think it's a very clever pun. Not that one.
He's correct though.
Yes, he is correct.
What is his pun?
Two comments up.
Oh, the catnip.
There is catnip though. Yes. You can. I guess you can. If you had a nip of bourbon, then that might be
catnip infused bourbon. And catnip is an herb.
It is
safe for, you can make tea out of it, I suppose.
Yes, I have a non-toxic mosquito repellent made out of it.
A non-toxic mosquito repellent. Why would you not want to toxify mosquitoes?
It is non-toxic to the human.
Oh, gotcha. What?
And it repels the mosquito.
Raises more questions, but
it doesn't kill the mosquito.
Well, that's no fun. I want them to feel pain.
Die. Yes, they need to die.
Just like when I go and murder the ants in my front yard, I use boiling hot water because in my imagination they're screaming in pain. And
so
awesome.
this is why I'm a big fan of things like frogs and geckos and lizards.
Because they pour boiling water on ants.
Not such a big fan of spiders, but that's a totally different issue.
Yeah. Alcohol is probably toxic to felines because cats are weak because they're the female version of pets. Because dogs are boys and cats are girls. The mom look. God, I love it when I get that. All right. I'm kidding. Cats aren't girls. I have a boy cat too. Cats can be boys. I know this. Duh. That's why dogs don't marry cats, because they don't necessarily know. And they haven't passed those for animals.
Yeah. So Tuna also mentions that bats eat mosquitoes. I am a huge fan of bats because I was a tour guide after high school for the Longhorn Cavern State Park. And we had these tiny little eastern pipistrelle bats, which are now called tricolored bats. But anyway, and then my high school that I graduated from in Llano had a Mexican free-tailed bat colony living in it. So we would have free-tailed bats swooping through the hallway when, we're changing classes and at our locker. And
yeah. The tricolor, le tricolore, is the nickname for the French flag as well.
Ah, yes, that is true.
Because it is the tricolored. And for what it's worth, the same colors as the American flag, red, white, and blue, are also in the French flag, red, white, and blue. And when people say these colors don't run, I laugh because, well, the ongoing joke is that the French tanks go 9 speeds in reverse and 1 speed forward. Vintage World War II French rifles only dropped once, never fired. Now we can use that same joke with Afghan rifles, only dropped once, never fired. That is a callback to current events. Still a little raw. Y'all will laugh at that joke in 2 years. Trust me.
I think it's going to take a little longer than that.
Okay, maybe 3.5. We'll talk about how much Afghanistan sucks in like a week or so. When it still sucks, but like it's a little bit slightly less raw. One of my fellow podcasters, YouTubers, is on his channel. He's a vet, and I get it. The vets they're seeing this and it sucks. I'm seeing it and it sucks. But we can talk about that another day. Today is all about toxic masculinity, and let me explain to you how bourbon works. And the reason we're talking about toxic masculinity is because there's apparently a coach in I think he was in Southern California, who sells whiskey in Kansas for some strange fucking reason, who has a podcast that is unironically called the Slap Dick Podcast. Why?
Right.
Anyway, I mean, I was legitimately thinking about calling a brand of whiskey the Colonel Angus Kentucky style bourbon. But I was planning on doing it ironically, like everyone was going to be in on the joke. But of course, you can't pull that off.
No. And
for obvious reasons.
What did I tell you about that?
And for obvious reasons, I didn't do it because, I mean,
I'm sure Saturday Night Live. You not to.
I'm sure Saturday Night Live would have had an issue with it. Because it is a blatant ripoff of Saturday Night Live skit.
Oh, yes, I recall.
Yes, it was a skit, and it was very funny. A very funny skit. Colonel Angus's first name was Anal.
So
Enol,
Walter.
Enol. E-N-O-L. Enol. Enol Angus. And if you wanted to find the good colonel, you just go to the back door and knock. Oh, Jesus. God, I got to find that. We're going to watch that.
So Walter mentioned that Llano is also known for wine, which it is.
Yes,
but it is not the wine capital of Texas. It is
What is
the
the wine
deer
capital of Texas?
capital. It is the deer capital of Texas. Let me tell you about the traffic jam that would happen on opening day of the deer season.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. So I won't be able to find it just occurred to me that if I go and get the video of the Colonel Angus skit, it'll like seize up everything when I do it because my video card chokes whenever I run YouTube videos.
Mm.
So y'all are just gonna have to Google it on your own. YouTube search the Colonel COLONOL Angus ANGUS skit SNL. It's funny. Trust me, it's funny. And it's also a delight, you know, when I'm in the distillery and we're doing tours and I pour the cocktail and I tell people what's in it and the name of it, and like 2 or 3 people get the joke. It's a delight. It's an absolute delight. 2 or 3 people get the joke and they laugh and they're like, okay, guys, y'all are in, y'all understand. But it's not like, you know.
And every time I shake my head and
it's a delicious drink. It's lemonade and peppermint and a little bit of whiskey. It's delicious.
You, sir, are trouble.
But I'm also not going to go to a random stranger in a public forum and say, you know what you need? You need a little Colonel Angus cocktails. Let me tell you how it's done. Because that's just kind of dickish. I mean,
that does seem to be a theme with this guy.
What, dickish?
Yeah.
I mean that's kind of a kind of a shtick, you know, as the baby Rome sports guy that he is, and you know he does the podcast and all this stuff, and you know the kind of slow burn misogyny where you know what did he say? Oh my God, what did he say? Something about he is, by the way, threatening to sue everybody with regards to his dumb shit. He says he's a pillar for women's rights. My daughter and many women across the world. So go fact check before you make assumptions like an ass. And he also says perverts need not apply to harass his daughter. So, you know, just father of the year is what I mean. Because I'm all about telling my sons and his friends that perverts need not apply to date him. Because, you know, you got to tell that to kids out there. Like, you know, perverts need not apply to date my children. So that's also kind of the double standard. You know,
yeah.
And that is a double standard that people talk about all the time, and it's blatant and out in the open. South Park did an episode on that with like the pervert teachers, like, oh, a teacher fucked with a kid. Oh no, what kind of? It was a young hot blonde teacher. Oh, nice.
Right.
That was a whole South Park episode with the high fiving and all. In fact, Saturday Night Live did a skit on that as well.
Well, I mean,
you know, we're all about, if you know your son comes up to my daughter, I'm gonna have my gun. But nobody's talking about, you know, the skeevy chicks that come up to their sons and
having a shotgun waiting for that girl, right?
Seducing my son into having dirty sex in the back of the car. I mean, nobody talks about that with other people's daughters, but they always talk about that about my sons. Like, yeah, we're gonna have some words, homeboy. Anyway. But could you imagine me sitting here in my home for homecoming? Some dude drops off his daughter, so my son, you know, that we can take both of the kids to homecoming for their sophomores. So, and then I'm sitting in here cleaning my shotgun in the living room while Karen or Samantha or Janet or whoever the hell the kid's name is comes in.
It's gonna be more like
Daphne,
Haley, spelled Leigh, or
I don't know I don't know what girls' names are. I have boys.
Emma,
but you know, sitting in here cleaning my shotgun when they bring in their daughters, and I'm like, oh, You're the one trying to deflower my son, huh? Like,
Right.
nobody would do that shit. So, like, quit threatening my kids with shotguns. Fuck you. What were we talking about?
Generally, double standards, dude bro culture.
Yeah, double standards. Yeah, the dude bro double standards. Yeah. But you know, it's bullshit. The double standard is still bullshit because guys get away. I mean, we literally get away with everything, and we know we get away with everything. And the difference is when you get away with everything, if you use that power for good or if you use that power for evil. Because I've told my sons, like, y'all are gonna get the benefit of the doubt all the time. Use that power for good. Stand up for other people. Like, use the power for good. You know you're gonna get it. I know you're gonna get it. Use that power for good. Don't like use your future swimming team accolades in your defense in your rape trial. Like, don't rape, one, but also like
tell your friends not to.
Yeah, like use your clout on the swim team to stop, you know, get your friends to not be rapists as well, because that's how you do things. Brock, you fucker. Not that Brock is watching, but you know, Brock and his friends might be. Brock was a douchebag. Look up Brock, swim team, rapist. You'll find it. It's fine. Kids these days, they don't know pop culture. Well, Lisa, I think we've pretty much exhausted the entire thing.
I think you're right. I think we've also exhausted our audience.
I think we may have even gone through all of the commands.
For Nightbot?
I think so. Let's see here. We're going to go through a couple of them real quick. We'll go with where's my cat? Is there a question mark on that? Nope, no question mark. Okay. Then we'll go with Joe's humor. we got squid. Tuna has his squid. There's Joe's humor. Yep. There's let's see here. Moosey glitter is another one. What else do we have? See, one of my favorites actually.
Nightbot's kind of slow.
Nightbot's the worst. He's lazy as crap. I swear to God. Geez, Glenn. This is one of my favorites. Geez, Glenn is one of my absolute favorites. Oh, Moosey's glitter is, I misspelled Moosey's. Moosey's.
Wow.
Moosey's.
Yeah, hers is EY.
Is it EY? Did I put EY or just? You don't know? Yeah, it is EY. You don't know what I wrote? Moosey. Moosey's glitter. There it is. Three's. See, like I said, once I exhaust all the other possibilities, I do the right thing. There's Moosey's glitter.
It still hasn't popped up.
Cheers. It will probably. I don't know, unless I misspelled something, which is entirely possible.
Entirely possible.
Moosey. Oh, it's not apostrophe S. It's just cheers. Moosey. EY. Glitter. Moosey glitter. Okay, so cheers, everyone. Have a drink. Someone make a toast. Then Moosey glitter is the glitter one.
I love it.
See, Nightbot's fun.
Tuna Mosey glitter does not work.
No, Mosey glitter. Damn it, I keep spelling it wrong. Oh, Tuna spelled it wrong that time.
Tuna spelled it wrong. It wasn't you this time.
Shop. Is it shop? Or shop old Humble? That's a shop. Yeah.
Maybe we should keep a page of these written down next to your computer.
I have them written down next to my computer. They're right here on another tab. Subscribe automatically comes up. Jeez, Glenn. See, this is the best part about it. Nobody knows who Glenn is. Nobody fucking knows who Glenn is. And that's why it's my favorite.
Okay.
Go ahead and ask me. I know you want to.
No.
I know you want to. Go ahead and ask.
Who's Glenn?
None of your business. That is a mystery, and it will remain a mystery until it is no longer a mystery. I would like to give a shout out to a little dab of bourbon. You can find her. I will post a link to her page on the Instas if you wish to go follow her. She is a good person and doesn't deserve this kind of abuse from a dickhead who has a fucking podcast and is a coach of some whatever the fuck he coaches. She doesn't deserve it. She's good people. Go follow her. I'm not going to give any links to his shit because don't follow him. Fuck him. And Lisa, shout out some stuff. What do you want to do? What do you want to say?
Well, I have been stockpiling material for the Unhinged Chronicles. So watch out. It's
awesome.
Coming. Yeah.
That's going to be fun.
But I've also got
fun.
Do what?
That'll be legit totes fun.
Totes. Totes.
Dude, I'm hip like one of the cool kids.
Well, I mean, the vest clearly shows that. So.
Yeah, and it's purple for our straight whiskey.
That's right. I like it. I like the purple. So. But anyway, yes. So
I'm not sure about the hat though. I do have. Lisa made it in. Lisa Lee, cheers and salutations. Our own lovely and wonderful Lisa Lee. And see, that's also something that I've found myself, I've been catching myself editing myself when I introduce my guests. They're not lovely and talented. They're the brilliant, skilled, whatever. I try to intentionally avoid that because I wouldn't introduce Jeff as lovely and talented, although Jeff would probably enjoy being introduced as lovely and talented.
Jeff is talented.
But like when Tifa and Emma and Tanya, and I mean, no question,
Tanya's
lovely
brilliant.
human beings, thoroughly charming, lovely human beings, just like everybody else. But they're also super talented. They're interesting. They're fascinating. They're just straight up like brilliant, awesome people. You wouldn't introduce Serena Williams, go the lovely and talented Serena, like she's fucking Serena Williams, for God's sakes. So I've noticed myself just as, I don't know if it was conscious or unconscious when I first did it, but when I introduce my guests now, they're just like, y'all are just like normal people, and it's fast and it's the way it should be, as you're just like, you know, I don't want to diminish the awesomeness by just putting y'all into this little porcelain bowl of loveliness. That's how fucking patriarchal is that? Squid Squidrina is what it would be. Let's see if I can spell that. It's Quidrena. I think that's right. Squidrena Williams. There you go. Not just merely Squid Williams. Squidrena.
This is so Tuna understands.
Yeah, it's a damn queen is what she is. Speak nicely about Miss Williams. Both of them. Anyway, what were you talking about?
I was talking about things that I wanted to talk about.
I keep dragging this shit off the rails. Keep me in line, woman.
Lord knows I try.
I haven't gotten a cease and desist letter in months.
I'm very proud of you, though.
Come on, give me some credit here.
You have not gotten a cease and desist letter in some months.
Exactly, and I framed those bad boys and put them right there.
You have one so far.
Two. I'll tell you about
Here we
it.
go.
This one came a while back, though. It's fine.
Okay.
Most of my cease and desist letters come after I'm done doing the thing that I was doing anyway. They're like, you need to stop that. I'm like, yeah, I know. Sorry. I didn't mean to do it. I didn't think you'd catch me.
Because someone told you it was a bad idea.
But to be completely fair, the first cease and desist letter wasn't my fault. Not at all. The second cease and desist letter was kind of my fault.
Kind of?
Okay, it was
Totally.
I mean, it was tangentially my fault. It intersected my fault at a very brief moment in time. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with.
This is another example of dude bro culture.
It was interpreted. It was interpreted in a way that would put fault upon me, but it didn't have to be interpreted that way. They just chose to do that, is what I'm saying.
So they had at least, decent lawyers.
Oh, Major League Baseball has the best lawyers.
Yeah.
They have all the best lawyers. That's all they are, is a bunch of fucking lawyers and baseball players, but mostly lawyers.
Right.
There's a story to be told. Y'all just bear with us. Lisa, sorry, I'm shut up now.
So anyway, more Unhinged Chronicles that I have been stockpiling because I've been on a few dates recently. So things have been starting to look up in that department. So I had one guy bring tomatoes to the first date instead of flowers. And let me tell you guys, if you have access to homegrown vegetables that actually taste like the vegetable they're supposed to be, that was a big unexpected win. So I'm just giving advice here. So, and also if I'm, with this whole new stint of unemployment, I'm considering maybe doing some consulting for guys on the dating apps. So would also be open to consulting for women, although I don't see women's profiles, so I'm not really sure of how much ridiculous is over there. From what I hear, there is a prevalent usage of filters. So more than once I have gotten the, wow, you look like your pictures. Yes. Joe, you're muted. This is how we should do every show. How do I mute you in real life?
Okay, so you can't mute me. It's all on me. But you see, I didn't interrupt you not one time because I muted myself. See?
Yes,
I can be
very
grown-up
proud of you for your self-restraint.
There was no self-restraint. It was just like a higher power shut me up. Like, yeah. It was the Lord High above us said, well, I shall smite your voice. And he did. I still think we should do like two. I mean, it's great that you have like your account that you can use your Unhinged Chronicles with, and that's probably the best way to go because you're like a real person that gets real douchebags. But I really do think we should do a fake like chick account and get or a fake dude account and get all the weird like I want to make a skin suit out of you chicks, because I'm sure there are plenty of skin suit people on the female side of the dating apps. But my impression of dating apps is mostly that it's a bunch of dudes fishing for chicks and not so much chicks fishing for dudes.
Oh, there's a lot of requests for money, apparently.
Oh, the sugar mama world. Sugar baby world.
Yes. The sugar baby is looking for their sugar daddy.
Dude.
So
I could.
Yeah, we need to get somebody to volunteer.
I could do this. We could doll up some dudes, get pictures.
We just need one.
I've got the CrossFit gym across the street from the across the parking lot. I can get one of those bohunk dudes, shirtless, fresh off the bench press lift thing, whatever they do over there, probably whatever, hammering tires or whatever the fuck CrossFit people do. Get a couple of pictures of homeboy with his freshly chiseled abs and glistening pecs and rippling quads and.
Well, I mean, we need to get somebody who
diamond sharp and you can
do it, because I don't want some.
Oh, those traps and the deltoids. You just want
to, some married guy to get in trouble with, his wife or a coworker or something.
Well, that's the best part. Like, just ask him if we can take his picture. If his wife will never know he's on the dating app unless she's on the dating app.
No, Joe, that's a really bad idea.
So we're gonna do it.
No, I think we need.
It was like the idea for the commercials. I just wanted to have like the public service announcement from the Old Humble Distilling Company that we will not use flesh to sell our whiskey, while one of the CrossFit dudes is sitting there just like shaking a cocktail right there next to me with his stretchy pants and his glistening chest and his chiseled jaw, and you just want to pinch him. Anyway, what? Where were we talking about? Oh, the cocktail. And he's like just shaking the cocktail, and you're just like.
Well, I think that you need to be our mock guy on the dating apps, because
Jesus, you want to actually get people?
You work for yourself, so you're not going to get in trouble with anybody.
I have a wife.
I know, but we don't ask her first.
Go on the dating apps. Who asks their wife permission to do things? We think I am some kind of.
Oh, I have seen lots of dating profiles that say, my wife knows I have this. We're in an open relationship. We date separately.
We have an agreement that we don't talk about these things. Don't ask her. Yeah.
I'm like, get off of Bumble.
You're lying is what you're doing, homeboy. Oh Lord God. I am so this is why I will cling to her and put up with whatever she does. If she wants to bring home a dude, I'll be like, fine, I don't want to date. I'll put up with it. It's fine. I don't want to date. I'll put up with whatever you want to do. Fine. Like, just you have a spare room. It's fine. Whatever. It's fine. I don't want to date. I would much rather. I mean, if she wants to make Brussels sprouts for dinner, fine. I'll put up with that. It's fine. I'll deal with that. That is not a deal breaker. It's fine. If she wants to, I don't know, hang shoes all over the place and leave the doors open and all the lights on, fine. It's fine. Cool. I don't want to date. I do not want to deal with this crap. I would much rather be in a miserable relationship than dealing with the psychos out there.
But let's be clear
of psychos out there.
That you are not in a miserable relationship.
Oh, without question. She is amazing. I love her to death. She's an amazing person, and I do everything I can to keep her happy, because I also don't want her to decide she'd rather go dating than deal with this psycho.
Well, lucky for you, she and I are friends on Facebook, so she sees my post. I don't think she has any interest in that.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, true. But I don't even know.
Oh my God. Tuna's cracking me up.
Tuna is hilarious. He's on a roll.
Oh, yeah. Tuna is on fire tonight.
Tunet's spawn with another tuna.
Tuna is in rare form.
Rare form. He gets the trophy for tonight. Oh, speaking of which, I forgot that. Let's see if we can do that. We have people in chat now. See if I'm the winner again. Winner means nothing tonight. We have nothing to give away. We know who the loser is. Lisa. So if we were doing things, Lisa Lee does not subscribe to the channel. Lisa Lee. swear. Although I don't know if that's true because it also says I don't subscribe to the channel. And I don't know if that's entirely accurate.
Well, can you
Maybe it's
self-subscribe?
maybe it's like on the Twitch side. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
I don't know.
I think I made Tuna angry. I did not mean to offend Tuna. So I always eat tuna rare, like at restaurants. So
What? You don't cook tuna?
you just barely sear it. It's delicious.
I guess so. I cook. I usually throw the tuna in with the ramen when I make lunch.
No.
True.
I mean,
ramen, chicken ramen, and tuna, because tuna is the chicken of the sea, which is ironic because chickens in the sea would drown. Okay, so Lisa says she subscribes. So there's an error with the Nightbot. Nightbot doesn't know who subscribes or not.
okay.
Maybe it's the Twitch side. I don't give a shit about the Twitch side. I should, but I don't. Eventually, I will. But yeah, that's how I generally. That's my general go-to lunch is ramen and tuna, because tuna is cheaper than sardines.
Okay.
That's a disgusting fact that most people don't know about me. I like ramen and sardines for lunch. It's delicious. But I will
anchovies.
I do. I also like anchovies. My sons do not appreciate the art of anchovies, but I will buy a Totino's pizza, load it up with anchovies, and just eat the crap out of that, because that's pretty much the only thing that makes a Totino's pizza good. You got to add stuff to it. Albacore. I see albacore, so I'm going to highlight that. Albacore is the white meat of the sea and compared with land chickens. The term land chicken cracks me up. Like there's other kinds of chickens. There's the land chicken, the air chicken, the sea chickens. There's like a whole armed forces of chickens. Like some of them are the forces that kind of land amphibiously, and then the land chickens come in after and kind of hold the land. But the air chickens provide support from above, and they have a joint chicken force. A joint chicken force command of all the different types of chickens.
I only do this show for Tuna's comments.
That's fair. That's fair. That's entirely fair. Okay. 500 land chickens at once. Land chickens. Anyway, okay. So where were we? What were we talking about? I mean, we're done. The show's done.
Yeah,
we're in nonsense territory at this point. Should we wrap it up?
We should wrap it up.
Okay, so this is where I would cue the closing credits and closing music and all that stuff, but I do not have that finished yet. Working on it, should be done in a couple of weeks. Lisa would like to remind you to.
Are you going to have me proofread that?
For what?
The credits and stuff? Are you going to have me?
Why would we want that? For legal stuff? No. I'm getting royalty-free music for it. It's fine. And we're not monetized anyway. Who cares? Jesus. What are they going to do?
No, I just want to make
YouTube deal?
Spell everything correctly.
Did I misspell anything? Old Umble. There's nothing misspelled here. Huh? No.
Sometimes.
I don't misspell things. Words are all made up. If I decide to spell Umble with a K, it's accurate. In the new version of the spelling. Right. So Lisa would like to remind you to
please spay and neuter your pets so that I don't end up with a 10th cat.
Because where's my cat? Because come on, Nightbot. God, Nightbot with the bad timing. Jesus, Nightbot, you suck. Lisa stole your cat. There it is. All right.
Yeah. So funny story about that. A couple of weeks ago, I called the vet's office to make an appointment for my oldest cat because she needs a dental cleaning and some teeth extracted. And while I was on the phone with the vet staff, person. Her name is Margaret. I asked Margaret if we could go through everybody's records so that I could plan out my calendar for, when I needed to bring, everybody in for appointments. And she's like, well, why don't you just bring them in all at once? I was like, Margaret, you see there are 9 of them, right? I don't have that many carriers, first of all. And that would be literally hurting cats. She laughed. So, but anyway, but now in my color-coded planner, where is it? There it is. In my color-coded planner, because all pet things go in orange.
Yeah.
So now I have like my veterinary plan for next year.
Well, that's very clever. I can offer a tip. The Amazon has cat carriers, a set of 4 for $13.99. All you need is 2 of them, 2 sets to carry most of your cats. A set of 4 cat carriers, $13.99. You can get 2, you can get 3 and have like spares. And there you go. They're on sale. Yeah. Look, $3.50 off. $18.99 regular price, $13.99 is what you can get them for through Prime. Check it out.
Wow. And it's different colors.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a bulk discount if you buy 3. Nope, no bulk discount. But there you go. See, it's really easy to get cat carriers. Your public service announcement from the old humble guy. Carry your cats in pillowcases. They don't mind, really.
Yeah.
They prefer it, really. They really do. And you can tie them all together in a knot when you come to just dump them on the table there at the vet and untie them, and they go out all over the room, but they're in the room.
They're in the room. Yeah.
Yep.
So Tuna says, spawn the cats and create the cat empire. Tuna.
See that.
Tuna dear, they will murder you.
And we got Christopher Holly in the house.
Hey, Chris.
Slap her shoulders like the hottest lots ever. And if the cats like each other, you really don't need 9. You could probably get away with 3. Just shove them in there. Because I had 3 cats in 1 pillowcase last time I had that many cats that needed to go to the vet.
Yeah, I think
they didn't like going into the pillowcase, but they were pretty cool once they were in there.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to keep adding to my collection of cat carriers every once in a while.
That's probably a much better, more humane idea than just shoving them into pillowcases. Good Lord. Why do they even let me outside with people?
I do my best to contain you. And I just,
You can't stop me. You can only hope to contain me.
Yeah.
At least I'm not an asshole coach of some marginal players.
This is true.
And, going out and randomly insulting whiskey reviewers all over the planet. I specifically insult people. I go to them individually, and I introduce myself, and I find out who they are and what makes them tick, and then I insult them like right down there at the fundamental levels of their being. Like I hit them where it hurts. Like you were abandoned at a bus stop when you were 9. Let me tell you. See, I get right into the meat. See, that's how I do it. Specific insults, not random insults. That's not fair. That's not nice. But always with love, That's the whole point. You want to tear them down to make them better. That's the whole point. You got to get them down to the. It's just there's nothing right about this. I'll stop. See, Okay, now all of a sudden my brain has thought of a cat carrier of like a giant ship with a bunch of cats on it, and they're like there's like the slingshot that like sends them out, and then they go flying. They like fly around, but instead of like going like jets, they're going like jets. Because my brain just like built this whole picture of like this giant cat carrier, the USS Ronald Reagan cat carrier out there in the Pacific Ocean, a giant nuclear powered vessel that has thousands of cats, millions of tons of armament. It's just out there, just like chugging along. And normally they're
And
just out
tons,
milling around,
literally
sunning
tons
them,
of cat litter.
just sunning themselves and enjoying themselves. But oh, here comes a Russian MiG cat, and then they're like, oh, like scramble, and they all scramble, but like most of them don't because they're cats. But then there's one guy there just loading them into the slingshot, and they go, shoots them off down the runway, launches them out, and then they're meow.
I envision them wearing little goggles and
when they're flying, absolutely,
the flaps on them. So
and their little paws are out front, not out here. They're out front, kind of like this.
Right.
Yeah, that's a cat carrier.
Oh, they need those little scarves too. Scarves like
absolutely
back here.
Yeah, they're not like Snoopy, who's sitting on
his doghouse.
Yeah, just saw something move past my window. Probably the dog. Anyway, it's not like Snoopy on his dumb little doghouse. These cats are like just like their little whole cat thing. Totally awesome. Some of them probably have jets, or at least prop planes, but those are the bombers. Yeah. Anyway, what's going on, chat? All right, so we're gonna wrap it up.
We're gonna wrap it up for real.
We're gonna officially wrap it up. Spay and neuter your cats. That's what Lisa says.
Yes, please.
I'm going to remind people that they can get merchandise at our website, oldhumbledistilling.com. Go to the company store. You can get shirts, hats, all the stuff. There's a store locator where you can find our whiskey in stores near you. If you're in the great state of Texas, or hell, if you're in any state for that matter, you can find a liquor store near you that's in Texas. The liquor store nearest to you that's in Texas. I mean, it's either El Paso or Amarillo or Dallas or Houston, probably if you're outside the state. I mean, if you're in North Carolina, it's probably Houston. Anyway,
tuna.
What was I talking about? What was I talking about? Good Lord. Anyway, that's it. Stay tuned for the next couple of weeks. We're going to come out with a real show, not this nonsense. We'll come out with a real show with real guests. We'll be in the distillery. Holy shit! As of tomorrow night, I'm going to have internet in the distillery, which is going to be awesome. Yeah.
Wow.
And they'll never see me again at home. I'll be there the whole time.
I might come out there and continue my job search.
Yeah, I mean, just the simple capability of being able to stream endless YouTube videos and porn from the distillery is just going to be a game changer with my productivity. I'll be able to work there for literally 24 hours a day. I'll be able to order food from my office. I'll be able to, I can do it with my phone, obviously, but the phone coverage and internet coverage at the distillery is a little bit choppy. So if I want like DoorDash or YouTube or porn, I have to come home because it's just intermittent at the distillery. It's not a guarantee. Music that I have to listen to, I have to do it like on a radio, like some kind of like fucking caveman or something.
Right.
Spotify is not like a
with commercials.
Yeah,
and
Spotify
DJ.
is not a Spotify is Jesus. The number of commercials on Spotify, good God, it's like every other song. It's way worse than just regular FM radio. But even that, it's intermittent, because it'll come and go. But now, we'll have the Wi-Fi, we'll have the landline. I'm gonna have a landline. I'll be able to plug in a phone and everything, just like my brethren from Gen X. I'll be able to plug in a phone so I can call up the party line and find people who are also interested in having a fun time tonight. 976 talk. Yeah, that was a thing back when I was a kid.
It was a thing.
And it was a thing. And yes, I do have a cot in the distillery tuna, so that if I need to take a nap, I can take a nap. I have a cot. I also have alcohol and all the weed you can smoke. Well, wait, I probably shouldn't say that out loud, should I? All the water you can drink, filtered twice. Yeah, that's it. I guess. I mean, it's Texas. It's illegal, so all the weed you could smoke would be 0 amounts of weed, right? Right, lawyer Lisa, right? Correct.
Well, no.
Or do we have medicinal licenses here in Texas? Are you allowed to have prescription pot?
Yeah, it's pretty limited, but yes.
Okay, so all the weed you could smoke could be prescription pot, but for most people, all the weed you can smoke is 0 weed, right?
Well, there's a,
you're not bailing me out of this at all.
just stop.
I'm in the middle of the woods. Yeah, I can't tell you what all's in the woods. I have seen deer and boar, and I saw a possum the other day on the way home from the shop. That was cool. That was a new animal. I've seen raccoon. It was either a possum or an armadillo. I can't remember. I can't be certain because it was kind of in the shadows.
Okay, their heads are very similarly shaped.
Oh yeah, but it was in the shadows, and all I saw was kind of the tail and the butt.
Fair enough.
So it was so that's several different animals that we've seen. Anyway, guys, it's been fun. Lisa, this has been fun. It's a fun return. Mm-hmm. Many of the kinks have been worked out as far as the operational stuff that I'm going to try to do with the new show. Y'all haven't seen a lot of it. You haven't even seen a lot of it, what I've done back here working on this side. But I'm very excited about what we're going to be doing the next 3 weeks. This is going to be fun. Have I tried my product throughout the distilling and aging process? Yes, I have.
Yes.
I have had it straight off the still.
Yes.
I have had it at various points in the aging process. I know what it tastes like on day 0 when it gets distilled. I know what it tastes like after 2 weeks and 4 weeks and 6 weeks and 8 weeks and all the way through the process. I know what it is that I'm looking for as far as color and flavor, and I have a fairly good idea of how long that takes. And it is very, very, very hard to be patient for the full 6 months that the bourbon is aging. Very hard, because I know what's in that barrel and I want it so bad. But you have to be very
tasty.
Yes, it is so tasty and so tempting. But there you go. That's it. Anything else? Am I forgetting anything?
No.
All right. Be awesome to each other, guys. It's not hard to be a decent person. It really isn't. I mean, you can be a dick. Trust me. But it's not hard to be decent to each other. And I would strongly, strongly, strongly encourage you all to make the effort, the minimal effort, to just be decent to each other. Just what was that? Be decent to each other. No, that's not what Bill and Ted said. Be excellent. Be excellent. Be excellent to each other.
And I have never seen that movie.
How have you never seen that movie? Holy Jesus. I thought you were a good person. God damn it. I'm going to have to reevaluate my relationship with you entirely. Although I can say that Bill and Ted Face the Music is probably about climate change, as is the Tomorrow War 100% about climate change. It's supposed to be about aliens, but aliens is just a proxy. It's really about climate change. We're going to do a movie review on that in the upcoming.
I need to watch the movie.
Well, I don't know if you and me, Old Humble. I'm going to do it. I've seen it a couple times, and I've really wanted to do a movie review on the Tomorrow War, because every time I tell people the Tomorrow War is not really about aliens from the future, it's really about climate change. They're like, no, it's really about aliens from the future. I'm like, you didn't watch the fucking movie, did you? Like, no, we watched the movie. Like, you didn't really watch the movie. Anyway, science fiction is never about what science fiction is about. There's always like a hidden meaning. There's something else underneath it. Anyway, whatever. Be awesome to each other, guys. It's not that hard. It really isn't. And I strongly encourage you all to do that. Be awesome. Drink humble. Cheers. And good night. Boop. Oh, that was the background. Damn it. See, this is one of the many kinks that I'm going to work out. Be awesome to each other. Cheers. Be awesome. Drink humble. Cheers and good night. Boop.